Are you burnt out? Like actually burnt out? If you're nodding along, this isn't a video about time management tips or taking vacations. This video is going to go deeper because there's a part of us that's exhausted, a deeper part. And if we don't tend to this inner exhaustion, we lose ourselves slowly but surely. This isn't about productivity. This is about why we feel so empty inside. Welcome back to the channel. Before we dive in, I have something super exciting to share. It's been a dream of mine to one day reach people beyond the screen with a daily quiet time. And I'm so happy to finally be able to say that I've VA partnered up with a meditation app to bring a new guided meditation to millions of people around the world. In our meditation, we will explore ways to quiet the voices that tell you who you should be, what you should do, and how you should live, so you can tune into the wisdom within. We hope to empower you to look inwards and help you realize that you already hold the answers. You know, like most of you, I've had moments in my life where I felt lost and unsure of myself. My hope is that through sharing my story and leading you through this meditation, I can help you find strength and comfort in knowing you are not alone in your journey towards self-discovery. Now, without further ado, let's jump into today's video. Okay? Before we get into the solution, we have to talk about what burnout really is, because I think we've forgotten what burnout is. It's not just fatigue. Burnout is overwhelm. It's living a life that's not yours. It's not living at your pace. It's not living with your values or your purpose in mind. I was talking to someone recently who was saying that they feel burnt out and overwhelmed. And I asked them, can you describe what that feels like? They said, it feels like everything is urgent. Nothing is important. And I thought, that's the essence of burnout. That's the essence of being overwhelmed. When everything is urgent, nothing is important. Everything is a fire drill. Nothing is a priority, eh? And so we run around frantically trying to put out fires all day long. And when we do that, we stop living, become survival mode. We go into lizard brain, and we try to put out these fires until we burn out completely. So why does that happen? Well, I think in our modern age, we are distracted. Hey, and distraction is the opposite of mindfulness. It's the opposite of presence. And when we are distracted, we lose ourselves little by little. And I believe that this distraction is the real reason we're burned out. It's not just that we work too much, or we read not getting enough sleep, or eating well, or exercising. It's that our souls are tired of pretending to be someone else. Our brains are tired of running on autopilot. So they burn out. See, when we are mindless and distracted, we start to lose our sense of identity, who we are, what we stand for, what we believe in, what our values are, what's important to us, and what we want to contribute to the world. And so we start living on autopilot. We start reacting instead of responding. Start making decisions based on fear and anxiety instead of love and joy. Hey, we start living a life that isn't really ours. It's a life that's dictated by other people's expectations, by society's standards, by our past conditioning, and by the noise in our minds. So now you're living a life that's not yours. You're disconnected from your values, your purpose, your identity, and you're disconnected from God. And so you start to feel empty and burnt out. You might even start to feel hopeless and depressed. You might even start to wonder if there's something wrong with you, if you're not strong enough, if you're not motivated enough. But really, what you're re-experiencing is the natural consequences of living a life that's out of integrity. Why? Because when we're connected to something bigger than ourselves, we have a sense of peace, we have a sense of belonging, we have a sense of purpose. But when we're disconnected, we lose all of that. Okay, now let's talk about why hustle culture makes it worse. Because I think hustle culture is the worst thing that could ever happen to us. Hustle culture tells us that the measure of our success, the measure of our worth, is our output. How much we do, how much we produce, how much we accomplish, okay? And when we fixate on output, we lose sight of input, which is rest. When we're fixated on output, We think that the only way to be successful is the only way to achieve our goals. The only way to be happy is to do more, to accomplish more, to produce more. But that's not true. That's just what hustle culture tells us. It's a lie. There's nothing wrong with doing more. Doing more can be good, okay? But we have to be careful that we undo more out of fear or obligation or guilt. We want to make sure we're doing more because we actually want to do more, because we're excited about more. So when we're fixated on output, we forget about input. We forget about rest. And when we don't take time to rest, to recharge, to rejuvenate, to connect with ourselves and with God, we burn out. The third point I want to make is the hidden cost of not resting. Burnout numbs us to our purpose. See, when we're burned out, we're disconnected from ourselves. And when we're disconnected from ourselves, we're disconnected from what matters. We lose sight of our goals, our dreams, our passions. We lose motivation, we lose inspiration, and we lose direction. Have you ever noticed that when you're rested, when you're recharged, when you're connected with yourself, it's easy to get motivated. It's easy to be inspired. It's easy to take action. But when you're burned out, it's really hard to get motivated. It's really hard to be inspired. It's really hard to take action. And that's because when we're burned out, we've forgotten who we are. We've forgotten what matters. And when we don't know who we are or what matters, it's really hard to take action towards anything. So what's the solution? How do we fix this? How do we come back to ourselves? Well, I think it starts with 3 small, quiet steps. No. 1. Subtract noise. The second, create stillness. 3. Reconnect with what matters. When we subtract noise, we start to create space for silence, for quiet, for stillness. And in that stillness, we start to hear God again. We start to hear ourselves again. We start to hear life again. When we create stillness, we allow ourselves to be present, to be mindful, to connect with ourselves and with those around us. And in that presence, we start to feel alive again. We start to feel joy again. We start to feel gratitude again. And when we reconnect with what matters, we start to remember our values, our purpose, our identity, and we start to take action towards what's important to us. This is what I call sacred slowness, slowing down to hear God, ourselves, and life again. K. Burnout isn't a sign that you're weak. It's a whisper that your life wants to change. It's a gentle reminder that you're not meant to hustle and grind all the time. You're meant to rest and recharge. 2. It's an invitation to slow down and savor the beauty of life, to appreciate the small things, to connect with what matters most to you, and to trust that everything will work out. You're not meant to live on autopilot. You're meant to live on purpose. So listen to the whispers of your soul and take the time you need to rest, to recharge, and to reconnect with yourself and with what matters. Don't be afraid to slow down and savor the journey. Trust that you'll get where you need to go in your own time. Hope this video brought you some clarity and some peace. And I hope you take the time you need to rest and to recharge. Not everything needs a loud answer. Sometimes, all you need is the quiet question.